Sorry. I was dancing. Welcome to Game Club Central. And if you look over in the lower TV area, you'll see HiRez. Yeah. HiRez, how are you? And thanks for the bits, Really Baked. You gotta unmute. I see your lips moving, but nothing's coming out.
You're right. My bad.
Ooh,
my bad.
There he is.
I'm sorry. I'm new to the whole Twitch.
You're new?
YouTube thing. I'm old.
Well, old people don't make awesome stuff like this. Look at this. Look at all this awesome stuff. Oh, don't look at that one. Don't look at that one either. Come on. Marty, what are you doing?
Well, I appreciate you having me on this evening.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Playfield camera is not active.
Oh, that's not good. That's my best work.
Now it's good. I thought they were seeing it. Now they're seeing it.
So my wife shaved my head the other day, and she said I look like a serial killer on camera, so I had to wear a hat, so I didn't look so like a serial killer.
I thought you had just dressed for the table we're going to play tonight, The Fog, and that's why you put that hat on.
Well, I have to admit, it's been, we recently moved, my entire family recently moved here from Los Angeles to New Hampshire, and it is on average about 5 degrees outside, so dressing like this is kind of
you need the
practice.
Hat. Well, Borg says he resembles the bald serial killer. I disagree with Borg, but you both look great. Really Baked says you look like a burglar, and Pinball Grant says you look great without the cap. I agree with Gramps.
Okay, well, we'll see. But yes, Borg Dog was actually one of the very first tables that when I discovered virtual pinball was the slew of Gothy tables that he had made that were more slow moving, more realistic to me, and those became the basis of me wanting to make the tables that I make. If you notice, most of my tables all hover around the 1978, 1980 era, because those are the tables I prefer. They don't have, 10,000 rules and missions and things. The rules are usually very simple. Hit these targets, do this, that, the other. And it was actually Board Dogs programming and Loser Man, God rest his soul, that taught me how to not only just start reskinning tables, but also learning how to program them as well. I actually prefer EM tables to work with because you can do a massive amount of additional stuff because you're not restricted by a ROM. So any kind of additional features and functions and things like that, you can actually program in an EM table over a solid state. So thank you, Borg Dog.
Yeah, and he streams here on Twitch quite a bit with real tables, and he watches me at lunch when I stream some of the newer EM work in progress and gives me feedback. He's an invaluable member. Thank you, Borg. And credit to you also. For those of you that don't know HiRez, his name is Nick, and Nick is a man of many talents. I was fortunate enough to meet him when him and I hooked up, and long story short, this table, Dawn of the Dead, is a private release, and he let me show it to you guys, and for a limited time, a few people got their hands on it. If you were on the old V Pinball site, it was there, and you may have this, but it's one of many that Nick made that, Nick, I gotta tell you, this and Fog, mostly Fog before I knew you, really got me to appreciate EMs, because while I didn't mind playing an EM, I didn't like them. I didn't really like them. Solid State and above were my mainstay, but the fog really made me take a look at an EM and appreciate it on a different level for the skill and play of it. Watching Borg more recently, I've gotten into a lot of older EMs. We just played Gridiron, which is an old one from Loserman. Football, which isn't a theme I like, and I loved it. And it's thanks to the work you've done on the fog and the stimulation boards given me playing the game, and you know, even Laserlos with Doodlebug and stuff like that. So thanks, guys. I love EMs now.
Part of it is actually, like, for me, I mean, I grew up in the movie industry and working in movies and things, and part of playing the pinball was creating the atmosphere to playing it, and that's why I do so much additional sound work and music and things like that, so that you kind of like it's an all experience thing. You're not just getting hit with, you know, the standard EM sounds or SS sounds of the early 80s tables. You're getting more of an experience. And the funny thing is, like, when Apophis and I did Halloween, he had never seen the movies ever.
Oh wow!
And he had never seen them, any of them. And I sent them to him so he could watch them. And he's like, you know, at first he watched Halloween, the first Halloween. He's like, oh, that was great. And then he watched the second Halloween, Halloween 2, you know, where you know, the Donna Pleasance, you know, blows up Michael Myers at the end, which is what we included in the table. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. I actually liked it better than Halloween 1. Then he watched Halloween 3. And he said, that movie sucked. And I'm like, why? Because it didn't have Michael Myers.
Well, you'll get mad at me, but until recently, that was the only Halloween I had actually seen as a kid. And I didn't love it.
Really?
But yes.
Well, I love Halloween 3. I think it's great. It should have been released as a standalone movie. The original title, or the title, was Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Yep. If they had just released it as Season of the Witch, but Universal Pictures was trying to capitalize on the Halloween franchise. You know how it goes.
I like that they tried something different, but yeah, they should have disassociated from the franchise. Yeah, I still remember the candy and the green goo. That was weird. It felt like...
Well, actually, they were planning to do a whole series of them. If Halloween 3 had done well, they were going to do a whole series of them. That literally every year they were going to do a Halloween movie, but it would be, you know, like a Tales from the Crypt. It would be a different kind of episode. And because Halloween 3 died at the box office, and the funny thing is, the director actually was a friend of mine. He was absolutely devastated that the movie had tanked, and for the longest time he lived with this guilt that he killed the Halloween franchise. And it wasn't until he was invited to a convention where people were thrilled about, you know, being able to meet the director and, you know, reliving the movie, that he realized there was a cult following for it. And for the longest time he was carrying this guilt. Tommy Atkins, not Tommy Atkins, Tommy Lee Wallace had been carrying this guilt that he had killed the franchise, but in actuality, he actually played Michael Myers in a couple scenes in the original Halloween. He was also a production designer. He was also the editor of the original Halloween. And he had nothing to do with the second one for the most part, but the third one he was given the chance to direct, and unfortunately got the short end of the stick. But yeah. But that's why I included it as a little token to him as a thing, was that the Halloween theme, Halloween 3 little jingle song in the table, you know, no matter how obnoxious it is.
Oh, it's obnoxious. I love it, actually.
So what do you got geared up for this evening?
You.
Oh, well, no.
And beer. I need to get my beer. I don't know where I put it. And it's right when you and I were talking before the stream. I had it.
My wife, I just turned 53 the other day.
Happy birthday.
And my wife bought me a local craft beer called Bee Hoppy that is actually very good. It's actually, it makes a beautiful black and tan if you mix it with Guinness. But you have to have an acquired taste for that.
Yeah. I if I'm going to drink beer, like not foo-foo beer, it's usually Hefeweizen. I love German wheat beer.
Is that local to you?
There are a few. But instead I got this. It's made in Cincinnati. It's a fruited sour. I've never had a sour. So I got that. And I have a Imperial Stout with cocoa and vanilla. They made it for Valentine's Day, and it's a special local beer.
My wife gave up on buying me super weird
Fancy
flavored beers a couple of years ago.
Well, I also have my old favorite, which is a cider, apple cider, but it has honey in it. It's called Beezy. I know I like this, so I can't go wrong here. Sorry.
Now, if your mic would stop cutting out, maybe I could understand what it is you just said.
If my mic was coming out.
If it was not cutting out.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm choppy to you.
Maybe it's just me.
It could be because I'm sharing the source with two things, but I've never had a guest mention that before. But happy beer day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna try this one that I probably won't like, but what the heck? Imperial Stout. Oh, it's not bad. It's like Miller Genuine Draft with a hint of vanilla. That's not horrible. But it's like Miller Genuine Draft, if you know what I mean. Somebody demands a dad joke. Do you have a dad joke, HiRez?
I have a dad joke?
Yeah, do you have any dad jokes?
I am actually a stepdad.
Okay.
So my jokes around the kid usually revolve around the fact of like trying to discipline when I'm not his actual father, which makes it awkward.
You're stalling. You don't have any dad jokes. All right.
Not really.
I got one. Ella goes, geology rocks, but geography is where it's really at. Cheers. I was trying, Ella goes. I was trying. I'll tell you what, Ella goes. I'll do some. I'll go buy a joke book or something. Okay. That'll help.
Hey, I know it's hard to see, but see this glass here? There's a Stern pinball glass.
Oh, it's got the pinball in it?
Oh, yeah. This is actually a replacement because I bought a set of them last year. Mm-hmm. And my wife, I was very particular where I said, you got to hand wash it. You got to hand wash it. You cannot put it in the dishwasher.
Put it in the dishwasher.
Right. And so she had it next to the sink and there were two of them and she knocked them over into the sink and they shattered. Oof. Both of them. Oof. And so for my 53rd birthday, she got me a replacement.
Oh, that's sad.
So
you were talking about Halloween and Halloween 3 season.
Oh no! Well, actually, the very, 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 very first table I worked on ever was Tron Classic with Xenoff. Yeah.
The original movie one.
Yeah. That was the very first one that I did with him.
I didn't have it loaded. I do have it.
That's okay. That's okay. He. The funny thing is that when I first got interested in digital pinball, and I originally joined all the sites, VP Forum, V Pinball at the time, and VP Universe. VP Universe was pretty much just doing back glasses at the time. The new tables weren't being posted there. Yeah. A lot of people were over at V Pinball, and VP Forum. I was trying to learn the stuff, but I was having a real difficult time kind of, getting involved with people that were already doing the things. And I posted a question in the forum, and the only person that actually answered was Xenov. And he answered, it was something very basic. I mean, it was something probably like, how do you get the back glass to appear on this, the second screen or whatever. And we kind of, just started communicating back and forth. And he said, listen, I'm trying to work on this Tron table, and I've got all the sound done and everything, but the graphics are kind of, not that great. He goes, I've got some really high resolution images, but I'm not good at doing graphics. And he sent me this picture that was, I think it's in the center of the play field. And he says, I want to remove the red line that's, going behind their head or whatever. And he goes, I don't know how to do it. Because he was using basically free graphic editing software. And I said, well, send me the image and I'll take a look. And he sends it to me, and I saw it come through, and I removed the red line. I sent it back to him within like 2 minutes, and he goes, what red line are you talking about? And he's like, holy shit, you gotta help me do the graphics on this table. So for the next week or so, he fine-tuned what he was doing. It's a conversion of Panthera, I think, and I put together all the graphics. And the funny thing is that I did this before I even had a cab. I literally had a 43-inch TV laying on a table and a 32-inch monitor sitting at the other end of the table, and that was kind of like my cat with the keyboard at the foot of the monitor. And my cabinet that I had ordered from VirtuaPin arrived that day, and I literally, with the monitor just sitting on top of the cabinet and the back glass monitor just shoved against the back. The very first table I loaded up was one that I had been working on for the past 2 weeks with him.
Nice.
And I had this subwoofer dial all the way up, and there's an alleyway that when the ball comes down, it's got the sound of the recognizers, and the house shook. And I was like, this is my new hobby. It's like, baby, forget the strip clubs. I'm gonna play virtual pinball.
It costs less ultimately, but short term it's more expensive. That's funny.
Well, yeah, the immediate purchase, but it's like you can have a lot of hobbies, restoring cars, restoring all kinds of stuff, or whatever. But virtual pinball is.
We get thousands of good tables, hundreds of good tables, thousands of tables.
My favorite thing about virtual pinball is I am able to play pinballs that either are long gone, or super rare, or I could not possibly afford to play. I mean, Theater of Magic is like $11,000, but I can play it, on my V-Pin for free, Yep. And that's my love for it. My wife can't get into it. She loves that. We have a semi game room downstairs, and she won't play the virtual pin. She'll play and I buy the exotic ones, you know, the ones that are a little different. I mean, I have strikes and spares, you know, the actual, not the Bally one, the Gottlieb bowling one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just got a Pen and Fever, and what's the other
That's
one
a
I
good
got?
one.
Yeah, I just got what's the newer one of that? What's that Williams made? It's a newer one.
I don't know.
It's on the baseball one. I don't know. I can't remember. I just picked that up as well. You know,
I've seen,
but I
Fever
prefer
here
the
on
exotic. I prefer the exotic. The ones that are a little kooky and different. You know,
a little harder to find and
exactly, and cheaper.
cheaper never hurts. Joker Poker. Here's that one here by HiRez.
Do you have the newest version?
Yeah, freshly downloaded.
Okay.
I think.
I made some fixes to it. The plunger was a little soft.
We're gonna play this very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, because it has an innovation. Okay, it's a video laserdisc player in the center of the table. Do you know another EM that has that?
I actually have the Laserdisc game downstairs. The actual game this disc came out of.
Yeah, you do.
They're one of
part of a new
I
program
think
we like to
stick
call
in the world that are still functioning, and that is one of them.
So you can imagine there's some cool stuff in here that you probably don't want your children to see. Okay?
It's in my adult list.
We're gonna leave it there, and we're gonna go back.
Yeah, but you have to play for a good
I know
5 minutes before you get
Yeah, I know.
to that.
I know. My favorite was the Fog. Wasn't this like your third table? No? Forgive my
It was my first solo.
Okay. And this was
It was then
2021? Like this is not that bad.
Originally 2021, and then Apophis, Dan.
Yeah.
The table had been picked to be played in the weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weekly thing, and
That's where I picked it up.
I can't remember who told me about it. But Apophis contacted me and said, "Hey, I did some upgrades to it. I adjusted some physics and a couple other things." And then I said, "Ooh, I'd love to release that." And I also wanted to add, the fog effect at the end that happens. And he's like, "Okay, well, you tell me what you need to do or what you want to do." And I'll tell you, Apophis is absolutely great to work with.
Amazing. Yeah.
He's amazing. Not only is he knowledgeable, but he's also. I don't feel like what he does is beyond what I can do, because he explains to me how he does what he does for the most part. I mean, there's certain things that he just works as magic and I have no fucking clue. Okay? But for the most part, like when we did Halloween, it was such a collaborative effort that I'd work on this stuff from like 6 a.m. to like 9 a.m. And he's in California, so he'd get it at 6 a.m. and he'd work on it a bit and then work on it in the evening or whatever. And it was like every day we were doing a new revision. I mean, we went through 58 revisions of that. And I started that table back in 2019 or 20 or something. And I didn't want to release it because I wasn't happy with it. My thing is like whenever I try to make a table or when I try to make anything, graphics, backblast, toppers, whatever, I don't like releasing stuff that I'm not happy with. I don't just rush to put it out to get my name out there, because I don't give a fuck about the credit. It's a matter of that if I'm gonna put something out there for people to enjoy, I don't want to be putting out an update the next day because there's a bunch of shit wrong.
Right.
You know, my thing is like I beat the crap out of everything that I make, even something as simple as video toppers. There's times where I, worked on something and the next day I look at it and go, oh God, that's awful. I got to, start over or something. It's like, I don't like putting stuff out there because I feel like even though it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things of the V pinball world, I feel like when my name is attached to it or when I've done it, my credibility as far as the quality is still attached to it.
Well, that's just it.
And I don't want to put something out inferior that needs an update the next day.
What makes you, what drives you to make multiple versions of stuff like the Night of the Living Dead grunge mod versus the just different artistic style?
Well, no, part of it was that, and I actually, is more so with the new Playboy table.
We'll get there.
Yeah, you can't change the playfield image. You can't change that in the script. You can't change that where it's on the fly like you can with plastics or anything. So if you're going to do a different version where there's a serious graphics change like the playfield, you have to do it as a separate version. Okay. Now, as far as doing Night of the Living Dead, because that was my first table, and it was the first thing that I had ever done, I kind of like the idea that it was like, a table that should have been made, but never got made. So, maybe that was the prototype that was in a barn or garage somewhere or something. So I found this texture of grunge and paint chips and stuff to be able to put on the playfield,
like
to give that illusion, Actually, that's my preferred version. But I do actually have a mod for that where you can set it to black and white. So it's black and white grunge.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I can grunge it up with your LUTs.
Yeah, but also, I mean, because I was so new at that, I knew nothing about doing any kind of scripting or anything, programming or anything when I did that table. It was strictly a graphics swap for what was already there.
Right.
And, what was there was a great table. I mean, I love the layout of the table. I love the way it played and everything, and even me and Xenophorf that helped me with this a bit. See the drop targets there? Originally I had zombies, right? And he says they look like different zombies doing different calisthenics moves, because it was zombies like this and zombies like this and whatever. And he says, you got to come up with something else to put on those targets, because otherwise they just look like they're doing exercises.
I like the letter.
Yeah. No, also, George Romero was actually a friend of mine, and very, 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 very sweet man. I met him. I had dinner with him a couple times. Very, very nice man. And when he passed away, I released this table, I think, 3 months after he passed away. It's in the description or whatever. And I kind of wanted to do something that was, my love of George Romero was not just, all the zombie movies he did. He created a genre when it came to,
oh yeah,
when you thought of monsters or anything, you thought of Frankenstein, Dracula, whatever. He created his own. There was never a movie about zombies prior to Night of the Living Dead. Zombies prior it was like a ritual voodoo type thing, and he created the flesh eater and all that, and because the original script, the original title for that movie was Flesh Eaters. And it was like, you think about it, it's like how many careers and how many people have done movies since then based on something, that he just kind of came up with because he needed the money, so to speak.
Well,
if I'm looking at this screen while I'm talking, it's because this is the one that I can see the video playback on. So,
trivia: the word zombie was never used in Night of the Living Dead.
No.
That's from one of our viewers.
No, it was only used in Dawn of the Dead, I think, once.
Yeah.
I am working on a Day of the Dead.
When he was... Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Is Bob going to be in it?
Is what?
Is Bob going to be in it? Bob the zombie?
Bob or Bub?
Bub, I'm sorry. Bub.
Oh, yeah, no, Bub will be in it. Like I said, but with working with Apophis on tables, I've learned more and more about how to. The funny thing is like I didn't realize that everything that's running on the play field is actually, it's objects, it's 3D objects, it's colliding with things, and I thought it was all scripted. I didn't realize that the scripting is basically just the connecting points for when it hits something
chaos in there.
Yeah, exactly. I did not know that. Yeah. And my smack in the face was was when we did Halloween, where I watched a tutorial about making, because I'm not thrilled with the wire ramps and habit trails in VPX, but you can actually make them fairly easy in Future Pinball. And then you export them and you move them over through Blender and all that. And I was like, okay, well, I'll make this habit trail, and that way I can have. And the whole reason I made that habit trail in Halloween was so that the longer pieces of dialogue or the call-outs wouldn't overlap each other. It gave a second or a couple seconds for it to go down the trail, and there'd be enough time for the, whatever the call-out was to play. And so I said, I made this habit trail and I moved it over, and Apophis says, oh, no, you don't want it as a static object. We need to remake it as a ramp in VPX so that it will follow that path, but it's actually not going to ever interact with the actual 3D model, because it would actually bog the system down. And it was like a smash in the face, where it's like, wow, you can have the ball go anywhere you want with these invisible ramps and things, and you can stick whatever the hell you want in there, and that was, I had no idea. I mean, I learned stuff about VPX every day. I mean, kudos to the people that engineered this thing, because it's like this anomaly that's be able to literally take the physics and the physicality of pinball and put it into anybody's hands, as long as they know how to use the tools to do it. And you can make original tables, you can make reskins, you can do whatever. That's how I started, was on reskins. Basically just reskinning, maybe changing some sound effects and things like that. But as I've progressed, I've learned to do a hell of a lot more, which is exciting, because then your brain opens up to like, oh, well, I want to be able to do this, and I want to be able to do this. All these things that you wouldn't have, you'd always have to rely on someone else for. I jokingly said to Apophis the other day, I said, yeah, it's going to get to the point that, I'm going to send you a message, and you're going to say, new computer, who's this? I don't want to work with you anymore, because I guess I'm very demanding.
No. Well, I mean, you mentioned Apophis. My experience with him, and just, I mean, he runs the weekly competition in Frenchie's Discord. He
Right.
helps new members all the time there, and helps creators in VPW, as well as working on projects like, you know, with you and others. I've brought him a few authors I've come across, and he's gotten them help shops and helped them get started. I don't know how he's got all the time to do everything he does, but
I'm amazed that I will send him a message.
Yeah.
Because because of my business, I get up fairly early because I have to deal international, and I'll send him a message at 6 a.m. and I'll be like, "Hey, I was working on this," or "What do you think?" And a reply will pop up, and I'm like, "Dude, it's 3 a.m. in California," and he's like, "Whoa, I was up."
I was working with Iaki on this or that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Funny.
Exactly. No, I mean, I hope to God that, you know, he doesn't get so busy that he can't work with me on stuff, because I love working with him. I mean, when we did the strip Joker poker,
he likes doing, you know.
Yeah.
And
he was all.
Loved Halloween.
I was actually talking to him today about a particular table.
I was gonna say, don't.
And he goes, "Oh my God!" He goes, "The date falls in October." And he goes, "I've already locked it in my calendar."
Damn.
And I'm like, "Well, all right." Well.
That's pretty cool. So you and him are going to work together again. What table is that?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's here. You can tell me.
Well.
Almost, guys. I tried.
Well, all right. It's in the, all right, think of it like this. It's a ripoff of Halloween.
Okay.
And it's probably had more sequels. But it's a guy with a hockey mask.
All right, and it's in your wheelhouse, the late 70s, early 80s?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'll take a guess. It's Chucky.
No, not Chucky. I said he had a hockey mask.
I know, it's Jason. I'm fucking with you.
It's funny because Marcus Nispel's a friend of mine. He was the director of the remake of Friday the 13th. And I was talking to me the other day, and I said, "Hey, if I do a Friday the 13th pinball, will you endorse it?" And he goes, "Fuck yeah, I'll play it."
You know, you've been throwing out names. I'm going to throw a couple at you. You know who I know? I know a guy named Joe Picasso. It's pretty cool. But he came in and he wanted us to catch him up on the whole stream. So he was late. Joe, come on time next time.
What? So I got to repeat everything I've said?
No, I'll summarize for Joe. So Joe, we had some incredible introductions, 3 fabulous videos, and then HiRez popped on the screen. It was a special effect. I used a Star Trek thing and he beamed in. It was amazing. Something is happening to my capture card. I'm turning purple. I don't know why, guys. That's weird. But anyways, yeah, Joe. And then we just been going through HiRez's tables. And if you're just getting here, we're about to get to the good stuff. Because we've kind of talked about how Nick started and some of his tables here. I've been playing some while he's been talking. The one I didn't put in the playlist yet, I don't know if we should play it, Nick. It's got the word play in it. Should we talk about that one?
Well, you want me to talk about it?
Of course I want you to talk about it.
I'm actually...
no, I'll talk about it.
Well, I'm restoring an actual Playboy that I picked up about 3 months ago here, and the problem is it's because the temperature is so low here during the winter, I can't do any painting or any of the patchwork on it to restore it. So it's kind of been put on hold. Huh?
It's been sitting there on hold.
Yeah, it's just sitting in my garage. I mean, I've got a brand new NOS playfield, a brand new backglass, a ton of new parts, but I can't do anything with it because of the temperature here. So, but what it did allow me to do was to be able to scan the playfield and the plastics and then clean them up in Photoshop. So what you're seeing there is actually a dead-on accurate, dead nuts, every bolted in the right place version of Playboy, which is interesting because it plays completely different than previous versions because of that, I think.
Nick. Nick.
What's that?
I don't see a single nut on this table. I'm distracted. I see other objects, but I don't see nuts.
No, look at the top of the plastics. Those are nuts on top of all the plastics.
I can't see that far. I can't get this part. I can't get past this part of the table.
What part is that? I'm looking at a blank screen.
You are? Oh, it's the girls in the middle. I'm making a joke about how distracting the women on the table are.
Hey, hit the number 2 button under. Hit the 2 button on your keyboard.
You know what? You're not going to like me for that because that's tied to my operator menu as well. So, but there it is.
Oh, you can't hit 2?
I did.
There you go.
On the playfield, we have an options menu, ladies and gentlemen, worked into the table. So, right flipper do it. Left flipper change option.
You can change the GI color. You can adjust the volume. You can do all kinds of stuff.
And you get a pleasant SSF jingle in your fingers when you do it. Oh, your default is pink. Of course your default is pink.
Of course.
Of course it is. Video volume.
Hey, turn on the cheap pins. I've seen you play.
I am messing around tonight. I can play. I'll take you on, man. Let's do a battle stream. 5-ball apron card.
Well, because sometimes when people change the ROM, they don't see that the cards are actually wrong at that point. So that's why I put in the option that you can change it.
That's awesome.
That was my attempt at doing a DVD menu type thing without using Flex DMD because some people don't have that, and I didn't want to make it that it was something only people with Flex can use. But the center there where it's white shouldn't be like that.
I know. There's a reason it's like that. I didn't want to risk anything because...
Well, there's nothing there.
Yeah, there is.
Not yet.
I put your stuff in. Let's show them the table and we'll talk about that white space. What do you say?
Okay. Will you play?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Hold on, my poppers.
All right. Well, what I opted to do is when I made the Playboy the re-upgrade that I released the other day. One of the things that I piggybacked on was when I did strip Joker Poker, I put something right in the middle of the playfield above the flippers, and it just so happens that in the original layout of Playboy, there's literally a 4x3 square right in the center that's where the logo goes.
Yep.
So I opted to put something else in there, and so made a slight investment and bought a collection of DVDs that were released from 1987.
We're mature rated. for the record. So
Okay, all right. Anyway, I got every disc ever known to man that was made by Playboy,
ladies and gentlemen,
and
boobs.
and then with the help of the Fishbowl, of all people,
That guy.
yeah, we worked out. He helped me tremendously with this. I was able to make Pinup Player work like a DVD player. And that is that you can start a video and then you can fast forward or jump chapters to the next centerfold, so to speak. So if you say if you don't like the Miss, May, you can skip her ass. And
Sorry,
so far,
I was looking at Miss May's ass. Sorry. Go ahead.
okay. All right, so you can skip that. And the only thing that I was never able to get to work was that when the video is completely done, to revert back to the main menu. You can do that manually with the MagnaSave. But basically, you can jump chapters at exactly the same chapters as the DVDs. Right now, as of the version that Marty has there are 72 DVDs in there.
Let's go.
122 hours.
Nick, what do you get when you download this table as is from VPU?
You don't get that.
You get nothing, right?
You get the regular Playboy table. The thing is that unfortunately with 120 plus hours of video,
yeah,
it's all H.265. It's all been normalized to the same volume across the board. If you notice,
we know your work.
The centerfolds on the playfield have their clothes on. Mm-hmm. Now, I could have put the nude mod version, which I did as well, but I thought, you know what? With what's going on in that little video box, you don't need that around it. And you can actually, other people can pass by behind you and not notice that you're, basically watching porn, soft porn. But anyway, soft porn. Cable porn, hotel porn, we'll call it.
Yeah.
We'll call it hotel. Yeah, that's good.
No, so
all right, but anyway.
I want to be clear, guys, because Jared raised a point. So, guys, when you download this table as is, this is what you're going to see. You won't see any videos playing like that. You won't see what we're describing. Okay? And because we're on Twitch, I'm not going to show you. But Nick and I are going to tell you how to get it. Now, Nick, 122 hours of DVD quality video to go with the table and masterfully crafted and able to shift around, that has to cost you some money to host those files. Am I wrong?
That's where we're getting to. That was the downside, is doing H.265 video in 120 plus hours. Google Drive will not hold that, nor will VPU, nor will pretty much any free service anywhere.
How many gigs is that?
Right now, it is hovering about between 15 and 16 gigs, which, on a solid state drive doesn't seem like that much, but to a download and to a free hosting service, it's a lot. So unfortunately, and feel free to email and slap me in the face, I actually bought server space online so that anyone who wants this version of the table can have it. The only thing I'm asking, and this is a small ask, if you're willing to kick in a bit for the server space, because I'm not going to keep this up for, forever. I am taking this down in like a month, okay? But right now, I have spent quite a bit to get fast server space that will hold all this. So all I'm asking is like $5. I am not selling the table. I am not selling the video. You are contributing to the server space. I am asking for $5, $10, $5, whatever. Okay? Because I'm taking this offline in 30 days. And this was a down low kind of, hey, it'll be cool. I have these videos. I'll put it in there, give it to my friends or, you know, whatever. Hey, Marty, you know, threw a couple bucks.
Sure,
you know, so
you know, $5 for boobs. I'm fine. I'm all in.
Hey, you know what? That's funny because so did somebody else. I asked for $5. He sent me 10. He goes, yeah, one for each boob.
I'm a cheap.
So I don't have a list of everything that's in there. I will keep adding to it because I still have some more material to add to it. But if you want to hit me up on VPU or Discord and say, hey, I want access to it, you know, throw me a couple bucks towards the server space, and
make sure you give your email
we're
address,
good.
And if you're on Discord, your Discord name. That way he can send you a link back and tie it to the shared drive.
Right. Now let's talk about, hey, let's talk about the other giveaway.
Yeah, we will, but I want to let them also know, please do not, should you choose to contribute to this neat project that is limited and won't probably be told about anywhere else. No
one else is going to host it. Yeah. That's a lot of gigs to host.
Yeah, but don't share that link, guys. Okay.
No, they can't because it's
yeah.
I have to have their email. When they contribute, I use their email and I put that so they can download.
Yeah, I'm just letting them know. So
all right.
if you reach out to HiRez, he's on VPU. You can find him on Discord. You should join our Discord, the VPN Hub Discord. If you're not already there, HiRez, and people can find you there too.
I think I'm on there.
Okay, I thought you were.
Yeah.
But yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're glad you came because we have another giveaway for you, actually.
We do. This one's exciting.
Yeah, this is not your mother's brassiere. So before we talk about it, Nick, let me fix my computer. But while I'm doing that, I want to show you guys what Nick also does for his bread and butter. And Nick, we're going to go to a different screen here, and I'm going to show them a video of my choice. I chose which one to show them because Nick has no say here. It's all me. But you'll see his website here in the video. This is what Nick does for his day job, and you heard him say he does some production work in Hollywood or used to, and knows a lot of people. So, and I screwed it up. Hold on.
It's all right.
I got
my day job.
Oh, I totally got it.
Hey, I left Hollywood because Hollywood sucked. I got no sound.
They do. I'm just going to show a couple of your videos here.
All right. Oh, this one's popular.
Yeah. I know what to pick.
Would you believe that I had to watermark everything because people were literally lifting the videos off of YouTube?
Oh, I believe it.
So that is a $80 projector projecting all that stuff onto a plain pumpkin.
Yeah. Great for your haunted house.
Oh, yeah. No, people put that in their front yard. Looks great.
Some of this stuff in video production, which I'll be purchasing my own stuff from him for various things.
So originally I worked with the theme parks, Universal and Disney and things like that. And around the early 2000s, something became very cheap. They didn't want to pay for custom stuff to be made. So, they're like, oh, well, why don't you just put stuff out and, we'll decide if we want it. And I'd like, my thing was like, well, how about I put it out so everybody could get it? And you can kiss my ass. And so a lot of this stuff was stuff that was done for major studios, actually, and theme parks and things that they didn't want to pay for. So I put it out so that your average home haunter, and that there are a lot of them, could afford them.
It's good stuff, and some of my audience knows, some of you may not, but I used to run a haunted house.
Did you?
Yep. For the kids.
Wow.
It was free, but
Huh?
it was a 4-room in my garage. I'm going to show one more of these guys because, and I said, gave you a link in chat to the website. But long story short, you're going to get your choice of any one of his products. And we're going to raffle that off now. So go to the link, take a look, see if there's one that tickles your fancy. I really hope this goes to somebody who will use it.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. You showed the ones that kind of are the generic, video projector TV type ones. The ones that are the major contributors are the ones that are animatronic based, like Zombie Containment.
Show them. Like
Zombie Containment 3.
Zombie Containment.
Well, Shark Aquarium was bought by Spirit Halloween 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So go to.
I got Zombie Apocalypse.
No, you want Zombie Containment 3. It's higher up. It would be higher up the list.
Hold on, I'll find it.
Zombie Containment 3. There you go. The one with the face. Go down one row, second row down, third over.
Hey, you with the face.
Third over. There you go.
I got it. It's going.
Now what? And I'm giving away all my secrets here. I was the developer of the DTMF relay decoder board, which there is an encoded signal in the audio track that outputs to a board that's listening for it that will trigger pneumatics or animatronics. So if you look at this guy here, when he slams the side of the containment unit, it's bowing outwards and bending and shaking and things like that. So what there is in the video, there's a signal that there's another circuit board in there that's actually listening to that signal and says, okay, fire this pneumatic cylinder at this exact moment. So you have frame accurate control over any animatronic linked directly in time with the video. And so when this guy's like, there you go, and slam, slam, slam. So these are the ones that are more advanced, where we sell the kit that goes along with it that has the air sprayer and the pneumatics to bend out the sides and for everything. But that's a normal television in there. And that little small monitor, I'll give you a hint, it's a little back seat monitor for kids, a little 7-inch monitor that is in sync with the other. So there's two digital players playing at the same time that are sending out the output of the video to two screens. So there you go.
Wow.
That's what I do. It's out. Now everybody knows.
Well, they can now type !raffle. You do have to be a follower of this channel to win. But you guys can enter to win a chance to win your choice of a high-res video production product from HiRez00designs.com. I sent you a link in the
As a
chat there.
digital download, they don't even have to wait for it to come in the mail. They can download it immediately.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification.
So if you...
So how is it there? How do you pick the winner?
I have a system here that'll randomly pick a winner. They just type !Raffle in chat, and it will automatically enter them. If they're subscribed to my channel, they'll get an extra ticket.
All right.
But it's all free. And I believe the retail value of this is anywhere from $29 to $49. Is that correct?
Yeah, for the off-the-shelf kind of just putting your video projector type thing, yes. For the higher end ones that are animatronic driven or a little bit higher, I mean, there's one that's a full-blown elevator thing with 4 screens and all that. They can make your friends throw up, you know.
Yeah, I saw that one. I almost showed it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna make everybody dizzy. But guys,
that I have to admit that even when I finished that and I stood in the prototype, I got nauseous. It really felt like it was moving.
This is for a digital product. There's also other items on there you can purchase that are more physical. That's not included. These are the digital download video products that you'll see there.
Correct.
If you have any questions, reach out to me or HiRez after you win, and we'll help you select one that's right for you should you win.
Sure.
So good luck. We're going to run that for a few more minutes.
Few minutes? How many subscribers do you have?
Well, some people are shy and don't hit Raffle right away. Let's see. So we've got 6 entries at the moment.
6.
And we've got 50 people watching, so I'm like 46 people watching. So there's Meatball. Now we got 7. See if I'd ended it right now, Joe Picasso wouldn't have gotten a ticket because he wasn't paying attention until just now. Who else isn't paying attention? Did you type !Raffle into chat?
We got one!
Did you know Jared Gage just gifted 5 gift subs for a total of 45 gift subs to this channel? I don't know why.
We got one!
But thank you, Jared. Is now Guster, Jerry, Mr. Wilt, DJ Rotler, and Elegos have commercial-free viewing for 30 days.
You didn't have that TV behind you when you did the Halloween thing, right?
No. And hold on, my audience is pointing something out to me, and guys, I apologize, subscribers. I screwed up. I didn't hit the button to give subscribers an extra ticket. I could redo it, but that would keep up 2 old men later than they really should be up.
What are you trying to say?
I included myself in that, and I was talking about me and Meatball.
I appreciate that.
Jeez. Meatball, I didn't.
Hey, believe me, I'm feeling. I grew up fat as a kid, so I am feeling every day of the 53 years right now.
I'm going bald too. Look, it's horrible.
No, I'm not talking about being bald. I'm talking about my knees and I cataract surgery, and I got prostate problems. I got I got cervical dystonia. Oh, part of that. I mean, that question actually that I want to thank everyone that actually sent me the nice emails during it, is that I was diagnosed 2 years ago with cervical dystonia, which is very rare, and it's one of the reasons why I fell off the face of the earth in the Pinball community. Was that cervical dystonia? What it is it's an inflammation of the top of your spine that presses against your skull, and I have a constant buzzing, whirring motor sound in my head 24/7, and I take medication for it. I get 300 cc's of Botox injected into my neck, but the bad part of it is that cervical dystonia is an inflammation problem. And what happens is the muscles at the top of my spine swell and crack the base of my skull. And I was hospitalized for it for a long time. And it's one of the reasons why I was going strong in 2019. 2020 came along, and when I was diagnosed with it in mid-2020, COVID happened, and I couldn't get into anywhere to help me with the problem. So I was basically left out in the cold, where, you know, it got to the extreme point to where I was then hospitalized for several months. But a lot of people had asked, you know, where have you gone? What happened? You know, whatever. And I appreciate the kind wishes and things. And I am getting treatment for it. It is still difficult. I hear the buzzing, you know, ringing going on right now. But I will say this, and I know this sounds ridiculous saying it out loud, but virtual pinball actually got me through it, because while I was sitting there miserable, medicated and all that, I'm thinking, what's the next table I'm going to make? You know, I want to do this, this, and this, or whatever. And through a lot of medication and other things, I was actually able to, I've learned to tune out it sounds like a servo motor running in my head 24/7. And I was able to kind of tune it out by concentrating on doing digital pinball. And I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it actually has worked. So, but I appreciate the kind messages I got from people that knew what was going on and things. And so now you all know that I'm a fucking mess. So
well, everybody appreciates your work, and we talked about a lot of your tables.
I'm just being I just want to give candor about things, because, you know, some people, some table people or people in the community vanish for a while, and then no one knows, you know, like, hey, are they coming back or whatever. I mean, there have been several people that have actually vanished doing it for health issues and stuff. And the bottom line is like, you know, nobody really knows what's going on in you know, people's real lives unless they're, you know, talk to them on a regular basis and stuff. But my situation was something that it was crippling for me, because I like to consider myself a creative person, and when your creativity is being stifled because you can't sleep and because you can't, you know, function, you know, it's like, but digital pinball, I mean, my wife jokes about it. It's like, she says, you're semi-retired right now. All you do is, you know, mess around with digital pinball. I go, yeah, but I'm happy.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
You know?
Give you something to do while you were down, so.
Oh. I was sketching out shit on my phone of new tables to make while I was in the hospital.
Well, and even outside your tables, you've made full DMDs and wheels. I mean, I love your wheels. Back glasses. Well, you've done a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, it's for me, it's a creative outlet. It's fun for me. I mean, I don't look at it as a job. I don't even really look at it as a hobby. Really, that's why I always offered up my wheels and things, you know, to people in my immediate, you know, friends and family, so to speak. Is because my thing was I was migrating from 10.6 to 10.7. Believe it or not, there are actually some tables that actually run better in 10.6 and 10.7. So I keep them there. I have I actually have 3 copies. I have 3 copies of VPX right now. I have the new 10.8 sitting there. The only one in that is Guns N' Roses, which will be coming out soon. I may have had something to do with that. But I've 10.6, 10.7. So as I was migrating tables from 10.6 to 10.7, I would do a new wheel for it. I don't like grabbing just other people's wheels and images, and I know a lot of people make those. There are a ton of them that pop up. For some reason, I get incredible satisfaction of making my own wheels. So when I see them go past on the pinup system, I'm able to instantly recognize one of my favorite tables, because what I've done is like everything that's in 10.7 I have listed as a favorite. So I'm able to go through. It's like, oh, that's a favorite right there. That's one. I've migrated it. Sometimes when I move a table from 10.6 to 10.7, or I download the newest version where the author has redone something in 10.7, I tweak the lighting a little bit. I replace the ball image, whatever, because sometimes when tables are really dark, I can't see the ball. So each wheel, when I post a wheel, is like, okay, I've finished fucking around with that table. It's done. That's in my favorites list, And what are your favorites? What do you play on a regular basis?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I would have told you Monster Bash, Cactus Canyon, and Getaway a long time ago, but lately that's been changing, and I don't sit and play much if there's not a purpose anymore. I create content around you guys creating tables, and
really?
I enjoy that. Yeah, that's my new thing. I make
you're getting the juice that I was getting when making the content, the support content.
Yeah, but it's more promotional content and or community content, because like now these guys can put a name to a face. Now that pumpkin that screams at them on VPU, they'll see that the glorious cap on your
you'll
head.
see this face right here.
Yeah. No, but you know what? I mean, Nick, I came in a long time ago, but I really got invested a year, 3 months ago, maybe a year and 3 months. And I'm like, I don't know anything. How can I know more? And what you and I are doing here is how I have done that. And you were generous when I first reached out to you. I don't even remember why we talked to each other initially, but
because I got blasted on Facebook for stealing Halloween.
Well, that was one of the reasons. But you and I were talking before that, and when I saw that happen, you and I talked on the phone, and when I saw you leave Facebook, I saw your birthday, and I made a post that, hey, it's Nick's birthday, and everybody's like, he's gone, right? I'm like, yeah, but I'll let him see this. I'll post it to him. And a lot of people say happy birthday. Well, no. You deserve to be celebrated. All of you do. Everybody that takes time to put effort to give us something to enjoy, that deserves attention in my book. So thanks for being open when I reached out to you and becoming a friend. You've been awesome, man.
Cool. I appreciate that. It's not often that I actually hear that. I am actually a very private
I know you are.
person.
That's why I feel
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Well, no, but partially it's a Hollywood defense, because in California, everybody has a motive.
I know, I lived there, man.
Oh, yeah. For 20 years, I was dealing with everyone felt like they were just sucking. And
what can you do for me?
Yeah, exactly. Or what have you done for me lately?
How do I squash you to get your job? Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
you have lived there. Yeah. Part of me moving to New Hampshire, 3,300 miles away. My parents are in Massachusetts. They're both in their 80s. They both have dementia and Alzheimer's, so I keep an eye on them. But at the same time, yeah, you're absolutely right. My thing, and the funny thing is, my wife was born and raised in Beverly Hills, and she's never known anything than California. And when I said we need to move and get out of California, she was, I don't want to say against it, but she was apprehensive. There isn't a day that goes by right now where I say, do you love where we live right now? And she goes, I love it here. I don't even think about California. And it's part of it is like finding your center, and not everybody can do that, in their 50s, to get out of the shit. I know people that go to work that fucking hate their job.
Yeah.
But they have to go day by day because they don't have anything else going on. And fortunately, I've kind of gone through that gambit. And my thing is now it's like, okay, well, I've got my business over here, and then I have my free time to be able to fuck around and make pinball, and it's a free hobby for the most part, except for when you're buying server hosting to host 120 hours of titties.
I'm sure you'll recoup that cost.
Well, I don't know. I had to buy it quick.
So guys, we're going to take more of Nick's money, and he's going to give you a free product. If you haven't already, I'm going to end that raffle here in just a moment. Exclamation Raffle will enter you to win a digital asset from Nick. The link is above in the chat there.
Has anybody won yet?
And it looks like a few people have already sent you a DM on VPU and check Discord, various places, Nick.
I get you.
I'm sure you'll get some support from the community. This is a great group, not only virtual pinball, but those of you here are awesomely supportive, and everybody appreciates that. Last chance exclamation raffle. Sorry.
I will tell you this, man. That guy, that Pinside guy that I read, was it yesterday or whatever? God, I wish I read that in 2018. I would have. Yeah. My cabinet would have gone together like that.
Well, and my buddy Porgy, who started Lab Arcades with Rob Avery, if you know either of them, they have found methods to refine that even further. Now they're making like a VR stubby because everybody's getting into VR. But hey, let's pick a winner, Nick. Let's see who's a wiener.
Well, you got to do that because I don't have any buttons.
I just did it. And his name is Mr. Grinch. He's a mean one, Mr. Grinch, but he won.
Okay.
Mr.
What does
Grinch.
Mr. Grinch want?
Well, I'm going to have Mr. Grinch take a look, reach out to me, let me know you won, Mr. Grinch. And, we'll give him a couple days to look at the products, make a decision. He can get with me in Discord, Mr. Grinch, and I'll get with you, Nick, and let you know, and we can exchange his details and email and that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
Okay. Congratulations.
Are we wrapping up the show? I was having so much fun.
Hey, if you're having fun, we can stay. I was sensitive of your time. I normally start at 9 or 9:30. So.
Well, my wife's already gone to bed, and
okay.
But I'm good. I mean, it did. Let me ask you this: does anybody have any questions for us?
Yeah, since this is probably our first live interview. I think Joe and I had one before that, but that wasn't really an interview. It was just table talk. Any questions, Mr. Grinch? Mr. J. Crane was happy to meet you. He's appreciated your bag glasses and always reaches for them when he has a choice. Joe Picasso wants to know, what's your next horror theme table project? Joe, he told us Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, and then Texas Chainsaw, and maybe Day of the Dead in the middle somewhere. I've been working on Day of the Dead for about 2 years.
Nice. Well, Joe,
and I think and it's from another board dog table. The core base from his
He's sleeping.
timeline. His timeline table is perfect for Day of the Dead.
One. That's a good
I love
table.
that one.
Yeah.
I love that table.
Meatball Saucy asks, what's your favorite movie?
What's what?
What's your favorite movie?
What's my favorite movie?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I got a shit ton of them.
Okay.
All right, you want to hear something funny? I'll tell you a funny story. I have about probably 10 or 15 of my favorite movies, okay? And all of them, pretty much all of them, I've had special editions made of them where they have commentary, where you know the director talks about writer, whatever. And when I lived in California, I had this stack of about 15 DVDs on the credenza or whatever under the table, and every night I put one in with a commentary. Now the commentary is, you know, throughout, the person talks all the way through. There are other ones where the person talks a little bit, then it goes to the movie sound, and then they come back and talk or whatever. So I usually, when I take sleeping pills, because I take sleeping pills at night, I'm usually out in about 15, 20 minutes. So I put these movies on with the commentary, and I'd fall asleep, and with the remote in my hand, and my wife would try to pry the remote out of my hand to turn it off after I fell asleep. And she said I had the kung fu grip on them, listening to the commentary of particular movies. So one day I had this idea. I got a new iPhone, and I had my old iPhone, and my iPhone, it was the iPhone 4. And it worked. It had Wi-Fi, it just didn't have cell service. So I ripped probably 100 of my favorite movies of the commentaries onto it. So it turned it into basically a glorified iPod. And then I got this earpiece that you can put in. Instead of it being a double headphone, it's a single. And that every night I'd go to sleep listening to a different commentary for a different movie every night. And that way my wife didn't have to put up with listening to the same movie over and over and over again. As far as my favorite movies go, I have to say, based on my commentary choices, are the early John Carpenters and Stanley Kubrick. The Shining is right up there as number one. Halloween 2 is decent. Escape from New York, The Fog. Obviously, you got The Fog right in front of you. Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, some obscure ones. But yeah, generally I'm an 80s kind of guy, back when you could understand lyrics in music, and when movies were original instead of remakes. So I hope that helps. Does that answer the question?
I think it does.
All right. I'm long-winded. I've been told that. So
Oh, you're fine. You've been a great interview. My goal with an interview is for the guest to speak 70-80%, and we are meeting that goal tonight, so I do appreciate it. It's your show, really.
Oh.
I mean,
hey, we just thought of this 4 hours ago.
yeah, for those of you that don't know, normally Pizza Time is highly polished, highly produced. I have a list of questions. I give them to the creator ahead of time. We did none of that. Nick and I were talking on Discord. I said, Yeah, I'm gonna stream tonight. I don't know what I'm doing. And he goes, well, why don't I? No, he asked if I would talk about something, and I'm like, well, why don't you come on? We'll do your interview. And he goes, tonight?
Yeah,
I'm like,
so drop
okay.
in.
Yeah, tonight, sure.
Drop in and visit. Well, I've seen a bunch of your of ones where you've had people on.
It's been
and
a
things,
while.
and yeah, I think the last one I saw was Joey Picasso.
Joe was not an official interview. Joe and I are going to do something called Joe Picasso Unplugged, and him and I are going to drink and do a formal interview, drunk.
I think you were drunk during the interview, but he was definitely drunk.
But
I think he was definitely. He lifted his shirt and rubbed his nipple, and I told him, if you ever do that again, I'm gonna, destroy my computer.
Yeah.
You won't see that from me.
So
Too fucking old.
Our guest is Nick Andrews, also known as HiRez. Because of the short notice, we didn't actually do pizza tonight. So while it is pizza time, our creator series, it's without pizza this evening. Instead, we're drinking beer. So.
Well, is that what pizza time generally is? It's like you just hang out with people?
Well, I usually sit down, and normally I pre-record it because some of the authors are in the Netherlands or the UK, or I had an interview with the voiceover actress from Game of Thrones, like the actual stern voiceover actress, and she was in the UK. We did that one live, but most of them I pre-record. I give them the questions a week ahead of time. I let them, I don't ask for the answers back. I let that be natural, but I want it to feel like a talk show where you get to know the creator and maybe a little about the work, but mostly about the creator.
Okay.
So that's what Pizza Time has been. JP's coming, but JP said I have to do Joe Picasso first, Donkey Clunk. So
yeah, but I actually had it was funny, you just said something that reminded me of it. I actually had a conversation with a Stern employee the other day.
Me too.
And he's in the I can't remember what department they call it, but it's part of the programming department for cables. Okay. And turns out that Stern has gotten kind of cheap lately. Okay. No offense. But they, the work that the Fishbowl did on the Iron Maiden table, okay? If he is able to, get the bugs or, whatever the things are that they're working on to kind of polish it up at the end or whatever, if he is able to get that dialed in, that code is the format for every Stern table that has come out in the past 5 years and probably for the next 3 years. What I was told is that they're basically using the exact same mission type formula and just replacing the elements. And that was something that I was really kind of surprised to hear, because something when I had seen that the Rush table. Rush is one of my favorite bands from back in the late 70s. I was thrilled when they finally got inducted into the Hall of Fame. But the formula on that is identical to AC/DC. They literally just swapped the tracks and move parts around in the playfield, but the programming is exactly the same.
Sure.
But it's just interesting to me that they're not. I was actually surprised to hear that they're not actually they don't treat each piece as a brand new starting block from square one. They basically are saying, okay, what can we jam into what we've already made? So if the Fishbowl is able to get the Iron Maiden programming, all the way narrowed down to, and he's like seconds away from that. That literally is a format for the tables that CERN's coming out with for the next couple of years, and if he's able to template that, then we can recreate pretty much every table in VPX that's coming out, because everyone was I remember when the whole thing about this whole spike system came out, it was like, oh, it's Unix or Linux and it can't be duplicated, whatever. He was able to do it, it took a long time, but he did a fantastic job with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
And that's fantastic. And
doing Batman too.
And Batman, yeah, Batman as well. It's Stern has now as like this core based system that then they just modify it based on the new material. But it's like they're not going to they're not going to change the number of targets, so they're not going to change the number of whatever. They're going to say, okay, it's going to have 10. It's going to have 10 of this and then whatever. And then they actually design the play field around the software, And it was very astute of this individual telling me this stuff, because he was basically giving me the secret key behind what Stern is doing, I love the soundtrack on The Fog, by the way.
Oh, that's why I've had it going the whole time you've been talking.
I had to buy 5 different soundtracks to build the arrangement that I liked. There was the regular score, and then there was the unreleased score, and then there was the bootleg score, then there was the score that was from the European dub version.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I haven't seen you take a drink.
Oh, I've been drinking. I just stepped to the side here to drink, but.
Oh, all right.
I just realized after, an hour and a half of streaming, we weren't even under the pinball category. That's funny.
Well.
It's like vanilla bean in this beer.
So what made you add that new TV behind you?
It's used for our tournaments. So we currently do visual pinball tournaments once a week.
Okay.
We've done.
Okay, we all go together, or we go one at a time.
Hold on.
Here it is.
Nick, I got to do parkour.
2 refrigerators.
All right.
Watch the stream. You don't have to hear it. I got to move the chair.
Backflip gainer.
I want to show you this.
Right. Let me just. Hey, do I got a second to run to take a piss?
You'll miss it, but yeah.
All right, I'll wait. Wait, you're gonna do parkour off your pinball?
Yeah.
Ah!
All right, you can go pee now.
Thank you. I'll be right back.
Timing was a little off, sorry. I was listening to him. Weren't those videos of his stuff cool? The special effects stuff? Like I said, I used to run a haunted house for the kids, and I would have loved to have known about his stuff back then. I had gotten some of the atmosphere effects stuff back in the day, but didn't know about Nick's stuff. Thank you, Jared, for the gift subs, the parkour. Thank you, Really Baked, for the bits earlier. Anybody else I'm forgetting? Dave, I think, maybe. And hello, everybody. It's hard to have a guest, and I'm reading everything you're typing, but it's hard to react to everything. So when you come in, I'm trying to wave hello. When you raid, Jared, I tried to thank you, but I'm distracted, that's all. hard to keep it all moving. Interesting. It's not updating to Pinball, which is weird, but that's okay. Yeah, Meatball, I'm surprised. I was a little nervous when Nick said, "You want to do it tonight?" I'm like, Nick, I do an intro. I go to Joe Picasso. I make a character. I do a logo for your name. You know. But, yeah. I like having prepped questions. I do. And not all of them can be in the moment to defend.
All right.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
They're saying how much they've enjoyed this live interview. So.
Good.
I was
Good.
defending myself because not everybody like you can be here live.
There was something else that was interesting that I wanted to share about doing that new Playboy table. Was prior I was Apophis said I told him I got a brand new playfield. I got a brand new copy of the playfield. And he goes, okay, well, how are you going to get it, digital, And I suggested, well, I could take a bunch of photos, stitch together, whatever. And he's like, and this was right after we had finished Halloween. And he got tied up doing another project of his own. Or other projects, and I was reading something, and I saw this scanner that is the 4670, yeah. That it's its own.
I have one here.
Oh, you have one? Oh, okay.
I do. I was scanning something just this weekend. I can't reveal what that something is.
The first one I bought was defective. I got it off eBay. First one was defective. Or no, it scanned, but there were these
lines.
There were.
Yeah.
It was literally these bars.
Yeah.
About 2 inches wide across the scan.
The expensive.
So then I bought another
cord.
I bought another one, and the day I got it is when I scanned the playfield of the. Oh, and that was the other thing. It's like when I finally got the scanner, I was like, I got it working. I was like thrilled. I was like, oh shit, the software now wants me to pay for it because it was the only software that had the driver built into it because the scanner was what, 20 years old?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So
you got to use some really old stuff.
But yes, yeah. So I actually bought that scanner to be able to scan because when I did the Guns N' Roses scan stuff, that's a whole other animal. But when I did the plastics, I used my wife's HP scanner, and that's the type with the lid that closes.
Yeah.
And I did all the plastics and things. As far as the playfield, that was done a different way. But have you seen the VPW Guns N' Roses?
I think I did, yeah.
The VP. You've seen the VPW Guns N' Roses table?
Yeah.
All right, because it's not out yet.
I know. I don't know if we're supposed to be talking about it. So I'm letting you talk about it.
Whatever. I did the fucking artwork. I can talk about it.
You're cool.
I did every stitch of art on that table.
I'm not.
They can't release it. They can't. I don't. Papa said they can't release it till VPX 10.8 is released. Yeah.
I think it's been mentioned before.
It's been floating around because there's toppers and shit appearing on VPU.
Sure.
So obviously people know about it.
Well, there's also a Team Tuga Guns N' Roses table in progress, and that's probably what you're seeing the toppers for.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is that my shit's accurate 1-to-1 ratio, 1200 DPI scan, man. It's the highest res you're gonna get.
I
Hence
hear it.
my name, HiRez.
HiRez. Quality stuff, ladies and gentlemen.
I try.
No,
Like I
love
said,
your
I
job.
don't like to put out crap.
It's inspiring,
No.
man. I'm trying to learn stuff myself, and I also don't want crap out. So I get it.
Well, what's interesting though is that like when I first got into this in 2018, nobody had toppers. I mean, I don't even think people knew what a topper was, you know. And in fact, when I started putting out topper, because I bought one of those 15-inch 1280 390 screens to put as a topper, so it's sitting on top of my cabinet. Build a little box for it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Every time my super topper that's 2 feet wide, that on top of my Playboy, my stern. Did I ever show you that?
No, I haven't seen that.
My wife is jealous of that one. But anyway, but it wasn't until recently that people figured out that when you got a 16:9 screen for your DMD, because I don't know what your setup is, because I have a real DMD. I have a pin 3.
Yeah, I have a.
But people.
I have what you have for a topper as my DMD.
Oh, okay. A lot of people have a 16:9 screen there.
I never got that to a point.
Yeah, no, I'm actually modifying my cabinet to do that. But so when I was putting out all these toppers, people are like, oh, I'd love to use it, but I don't have a topper. But the DMD only takes the lower half of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So you put the topper on top of that. I call it over-under. You know, you can have it play, underneath, on the 16:9, because the 16:9 screen, you put the DMD at the, because some people stretch it, all that. But if you put the DMD at normal size, you can put a topper right underneath it or right above it, no problem. And I'm like you. I went for the authenticity when I built my cab. About just have the one stripper, and I'm regretting it now.
Okay, it's good to hear somebody else other than me who likes EMs say that, because
the funny thing is I do all this work on these toppers. My favorite one is the one I did for Fathom.
And you have.
And I don't ever see it.
Yeah.
I don't ever see it. In fact, when I did the Playboy table with the video right in that center piece, originally I was going to do it like a hologram, like a P2K machine, where it was over the bumpers. But then I realized the thing's right there and your flippers are right there. So you're looking right there. Because my wife said that to me. She goes, how are you going to play pinball when you're looking at titties? And I said, well, you're looking right.
Distracting.
I love the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, I don't disagree, but you put it right there
that's
where
back
the
when,
drain hole is.
That's where women were women. Women were women. And they didn't have tattoos.
We got to be sensitive, man. We're on Twitch. I'm just teasing.
I got you. I understand. That's why I was asking about what are you going to be able to show with this. And you can show the regular version of the table.
Yeah, and I did briefly, but people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I got you.
And anybody that wants to see it knows how to reach me on Discord, and I can show them, what I got from you. So.
Yep.
And you can too. Reach out to HiRez.
Well, yours is time delayed. It delete itself in 2 days, so you better.
Okay.
You better get your fill.
Well, quit updating it, damn it.
Well, no, I update it in order to accommodate for the extra videos. Every night, I have about 6 computers here for work. I set 2 of them up, recompressing video off of DVD every night. And they do between 10 and 15 videos a night. Because I didn't realize this. Playboy put out a lot of fucking videos.
Oh, yeah. Oh, when
Okay.
VHS and
This-
DVD came along, oh my lord.
Oh, VHS and DVD, man. And you know what? Yeah, I will say this. You know what the hardest part about doing those videos is?
I
It's
know what
making-
the hardest part is, but why don't
No,
you tell me?
all right. Sorry, the most difficult part
Thank you.
is making the menu icon screen for each one.
Oh, yeah.
I have to make each one of those. You know why? Because the original disc, the covers are terrible and really low resolution. And so if you say, okay, the best of Anna Nicole Smith, if you type that in Google right now, you'll get a low-res, crappy image for the cover. I have to go recreate that just for you.
Hey, I
So
don't
that
mind.
it looks decent quality. So I have to go find the image, redo the text and everything, you know? I know you don't mind.
No,
That's why you got the TV in there. You don't leave the room.
If you're getting here late and you're not aware, HiRez recently released a Playboy table from 1978. Is it?
Yeah, it's number 78, just like Joker Poker.
Yep. And there's an area in there in the middle that normally just has the playfield symbol and it lights up white. But he built a DVD player into that. Now normally there's nothing there, but if you reach out to HiRez and
Why did you just load Joker Poker? You gonna play that?
I didn't load it, it's just sitting on it.
Oh,
Yeah, there's two tables. I haven't grabbed the table. Come on, we rushed this, man. I didn't have time to grab all the media, or record my own rather.
all right.
'Cause I record my own playfields. So, but ladies and gentlemen, he put some extra work into that table with how many hours? 122 hours, you said?
Right now it's at 120 plus. Yeah.
Of DVD from the 80s and 90s of Playboy stuff. Lots of good stuff. I can't show you here. And if you reach out to HiRez, you can help him with hosting costs for these files because it's like many.
I'm giving it 1 month. That's all I can afford to put it up there for friends and family, so to speak. And anyone who wants to help contribute to that cost, because I had to pay for it quick. But it was the only way. I could not. It has so much goodness that it would not host on a free service. And so there's the base version, then there's the upgrade packs, and you can basically, if you're my age or mid 40s or whatever, you can basically relive your entire youth with the Playboy TV.
One of our viewers is unfamiliar, but
Every time you
Bob,
play the game.
basically Bob.
I actually got an email. I got an email from I can't remember. God, I can't remember her name. There's a woman on
A playmate, I'm sure.
VPU. And when I put out Strip Joker Poker, she goes, "Thank you for including men." And for Playboy, I'm not going to be able to include men. I'm sorry.
Well, that was Play Girl. That's a different table.
That is, and surprisingly, that they didn't put out any videos for Playgirl, but they put out a lot of DVDs for Playboy.
Thank you, Hugh Hefner.
Yes.
So yeah, the videos that we're talking about would play in this lower screen if you were to enable the 122 hours of incredibly digestible content. But not only is it digestible, but you can fast forward and skip like your mama's cable box. It's an excellent feature, sir. Just like mama's cable box.
What's funny is I had to be very discreet of how I
I'm sorry, did
when I was
snore that?
asking.
I'm sorry.
No, when I was asking for help about how to do that, because Nail Buster wasn't going to exactly.
Hey, had on boobs in your pinup popper.
Exactly. So
Pinup popper, right?
Right. So
the name solicits popping pins.
So I had to go around him, and I had to ask someone else, and I'm like, well, this is what I'm trying to do. He's like, well, explain to me what you're trying to do, and I did, but I was like, I was trying to be very vague. And he's like, I don't get it. I was like, all right, look, I want it to work like a fucking DVD player, man. You hit go and you hit start and you're able to jump chapters. If you think a bitch is ugly, you jump forward, you know? And he's like, oh, okay, this is how you do it. And it was one line of code.
David, you're not here, are you?
It's okay.
He might be here.
No, you know what? You know, no, because look, I don't know how. Not everybody is as open and straightforward as I am. I've met a few. You're all right. I'm all right, but I'm very straightforward. So
we like that.
It's because not everybody is. I try to be very delicate about when I'm dealing with something that maybe they won't approve of the end product. Not what I'm trying to do, but what it's for. Now, at the same time, what I learned from the people that assisted me on being able to make this work like a DVD player is that it gave me a lot of insight on how to do some other functions, you know, that I like to be able to do. Another table that I've been working on for 3 years actually is Johnny Quest. You know, the original 1968 cartoon thing, and I have the original reels from the stuff, which is the unedited versions of, you know, back in '68 when they, you know, they weren't exactly PC by today's standards. I have the original soundtrack stuff. I have all the original stuff in order to do that, and you know, but actually learning the skipping around function because strip joker poker was the first time I'd ever done anything pup related ever. But that was pretty straightforward. Every girl had 10 segments, or every guy had 10 segments. It's basically if you get 10,000 points, it awards your video or whatever. But I actually learned a tremendous amount just doing the Playboy table on how to navigate the Pup Pack and how it works. I honestly think that it's actually got more capability than what the original authors intended, because it's almost as if he predicted the future, and as far as what it needed to do, it's actually built in, but people haven't used some of those things yet. Like, I was blown away by Classic Radio's Cactus Canyon pack.
Alphas, yeah.
Because he had what was it he had that was the extra? There was stuff that was moving around.
The Pup Alphas.
The what?
They're called Pup Alphas.
Right. That no one's ever seemed to get to work properly.
Yeah, he's a master of those. He also did them on the Addams Family to a minor extent. But Cactus Canyon is his best work, and I learned that by interviewing him. Jim is wonderful.
Are you one of the bad guys in that?
I am. How'd you know?
Well, I don't know. I only saw it once. I don't think I have it loaded on my table.
Yeah, I'm in the pup. I got a dirty cowboy hat on.
Oh, okay. No, but I mean, it's remarkable actually that Nailbuster, there's so many functions and things built into it that I don't know if it's the functionality of VLC or there were things that he built into the pump things, but there's a lot of stuff that people don't use because the immediate thing is just throw video on the screen, you know, and movies seem to be the target for all those.
Yeah. And people tend to go with what's been created before them. Very few go outside the box and try something new. So
right, yeah. But it's interesting that these are things that actually David had built into it.
Yeah.
That you know, an immediate thought you don't think you'd use it, but then somewhere down the line it comes along and say, "Well, I want to be able to do this." Well, this is the way to do it.
Yeah,
you know,
and
the fact,
a great way.
Right, the behind the Playboy table, it's turned. I basically turned the Pup Pack into a jukebox, and it's playing an entire folder. All the chapters are separate. It's not just one long. That was the bitch about the thing, was that the videos had to be chopped into chapters.
Right.
Instead of just one long video. But once you just dot them all in, like you have just video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever.
Back and forth.
You know, yeah, you go backwards and forwards and, you know, jump back to the beginning and pick another video to work. The only thing that I was never able to get to work was to clear your playlist, because if you pick a particular video and you start watching it and then you quit it and go back to the main menu and watch and watch another video and then go back to the video you originally were watching, it's going to pick up where it left off, and which is not a big deal because you just hit the right magnet save and you can jump forward and restart it, you know. But something I could never get to work properly was killing the jukebox functionality completely to clear the playlist to then start over again when it started. But once I figured out the mathematics on it, it was now it's very easy to add videos to it.
Yeah.
You know, you can put your own home movies in there if you wanted to.
Yeah, and I was going to point that out to people too. I mean, you can. It's the jukebox.
Basically, it is a jukebox of, you know, titties. Yeah.
Well, even like MPT3K did his Iron Maiden stream, and he worked with Joe Picasso to basically strip out all the Eddie videos and put in Prince.
Well,
He just didn't like Iron Maiden.
That's gone.
oh, I love Iron Maiden.
Oh, I didn't mind. He was just
I was thinking actually the other day about when V Pinball closed.
Mm-hmm.
How many tables were on V Pinball where the authors have actually left the community?
Bob's Burgers Pinball.
That never re-uploaded to VPU when VPU took it over.
A lot.
You know? So, because I was talking to someone the other day that was fairly new to VPX, and I was like, I said, have you played Catacomb? I says, it's one of my favorite tables. And he goes, no, I've never seen it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You just downloaded it? And then I looked at it. It's not on any of the sites, you know, because it was on VPU when it went down.
Yeah. Yeah, V Pinball was a great loss. You know, if you know somebody, you can usually get a table, but you got to know about the table.
Right. Right. Pretty much every table has been with Gold Chico when he went on that tirade of converting every table from 9 to 10. You know, sometimes the tables, they didn't look so great because 9 has its limitations and things, but at least he got it into VPX.
Yep.
And same with Rascal. Rascal, his whole thing was convert tables. It's like, if someone wants to clean it up, great. There's a lot of tables where I look at that, that people have done was like, well, I'd love to do a cleanup on that, but there's only so many hours in the day.
You're talking about rare tables. Raffle in the last month has given us Michael Jordan and Krull, which both are very rare.
The hell did he do recently? He did an update of like what's the casino table that he did?
I don't remember the name of that one.
Scott Leap.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Scott, you know what I'm talking about.
Easy. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and it's a little rough in the graphics, but it's a fun table.
But it's fun to play.
You know? Right. There's a lot. I love gambling tables. I love like when I think it was Board did a conversion of World Poker Tour. Worst backlash in the world, but great table to play. Really fun. I'm actually, it's funny when you mention it because I asked you what have you been playing lately as far as tables and things. And my thing is like I've been really, really, really enjoying playing early 80s tables. Black Pyramid.
Oh, I love that.
One of my favorites. I have no idea why. I just love that table. And with
Williams, Gottlieb, I love them.
With JP's new version of because Black Pyramid was unplayable previously, and now it's it's a fun play. Getaway High Speed. Because I just watched a documentary that was about pinball, and it was talking about how High Speed and Black Knight changed the whole dynamics of Playboy.
I mean, more than any other. They told a story.
Well, Black Knight was the first one with 2 levels, and High Speed was one that was it was one where the mission or the goal was as simple as possible. Turn the green light fucking red and then run the red light, Yeah, run the light. And that's it, But I tend to fall, and that's one of the reasons I chose Medusa for when I did Halloween, is I really, really, really enjoy the early 80s pinballs because there were no missions, so to speak. The goal is hit these targets, hit this orbit, here you go. All right, it's getting dark, which means that I think you're ending.
I was trying to get rid of the reflection that's on the TV because I don't remember it being there in the past, and I must have moved my light or something. I don't know. I've been trying to figure. It's been bugging me.
Just turn the monitor slightly to the left, and you'll get rid of the glare.
That's what happened, because I did move the monitor earlier. That is exactly what happened. Thank you.
There you go. So if you tilt it...
What did I do?
There you're gone.
That's what I did. I was like, what did I do?
Done. Hey, man, I'm a fucking professional.
Bob, to answer your question, some of these authors are just not around anymore, and we don't have permission to take our personal copy and upload it. It's just not proper etiquette.
Right.
So it's up to the author to re-upload it, and even authors like Board and others have tables that they haven't re-released since they put them out, but they go put them out. I could think of one recently over a holiday we had, and I don't remember which author it was, but he's like, oh yeah, I'll go put that out. It's a good time to re-release that. And it was just 2-3 weeks ago. I don't remember what it was.
I have probably about 25 that I've started, and not that I've lost interest. It's like I didn't...
You want it perfect.
Well, I gotta, it's like I'm not interested in putting out just, a reskin or, just redo the artwork on something. And And my thing is like I'm more interested. I love the wow factor. It's one of the nice things about when we did the fog. It was right when you could import WebP instead of PNG, and so we could do that animated sequence of the fog rolling over the end and break the back glass and stuff.
Mhm.
And I redid Board's Jungle Princess and Jungle Queen, where I completely redid the graphics. He released Jungle Princess, and Jungle Queen is the 4-player version of it. And then what I did is I took the Jungle Queen and I re-updated all the artwork to it to something more modern, so to speak. And I added a whole bunch of other things to it to make it more, brought it up to date technology wise, but yeah, there's a lot of times where I've got folders and folders on my desktop or on my hard drive of stuff that maybe I'll get to that later or whatever. It's, so many times you get inspired by things sometimes by what you see on TV or, whatever about making something cool. I mean, because my thing is like, I've worked in the entertainment industry since 1996. And my thing has always been, if I'm going to put something out there, I want people to be entertained by it. I don't want someone to yawn
Right.
when they load up something I've done, and so I try to make it interesting and add things. And with collaborators like guys like Apophis, Dan and some others, there's a lot of them are like, "Are you fucking nuts?" Then I'm like, "Yeah, we'll do it anyway."
Yeah, I am, and we're doing it. We'll do it live.
Oh, that's fun. I mean, the great thing about, my brother, it's funny. My brother just came to visit. He lives in Maine. Came down to visit. He hasn't been to our house since we moved here. And I showed him my arcade area. He was like, "Oh, that's cool. You got this." And I showed him digital pinball. He's never seen digital pinball in his life, ever. And at first, it took a couple minutes for it to kind of click. But then when I showed him, like, well, yeah, we can play this and you can play this, and I changed it up, and then I showed him stuff that like FX3, some FX3 things, and some other fancy tables and that are in VPX, and it was like this whole nother world opened up to him. Like, wow, I never thought of pinball having this kind of extra interactivity. He's 5 years older than me, and it's always been like, you stand in the machine, you put your quarter in, you hit the things, and my wife is the player of the longer she keeps the ball moving is the better the game. And for me, I've especially from Apophis's physics that he did on Joker Poker, which are dead on. I mean, you can hit targets, off your flippers, perfectly, And then the terrible thing is when you play a table that hasn't been tuned like that, it feels off. You can't hit that target, right? And I even joked to Apophis. I said, "Hey, how about we go through and we fix the physics on all our favorite tables, even though we just won't release them. We'll just play them." He goes, "No, I don't have time for that." But I'd love for him to fix Fathom on all the releases of Fathom. The physics are way off.
I know.
And I'd love for him to go.
Table.
Oh, but the artwork on that is fantastic.
So I just shared a link for you guys of HiRez's VPX tables, which you can obviously download for free. I'd also like to re-highlight, if you weren't here earlier, we gave away one of HiRez's products. These are video products he makes. A lot of times for like haunted houses and things like that, but let's show him something else.
Are there more people? Are there more people in the room than there were in the previous giveaway?
A few less, but it might be different people. There was interest. Why? You want to give away another one?
I'll give it away another one.
All right, well, let's show them again. And we'll do another raffle.
How many you got in here?
40, 41, 42, something like that.
Okay. Well, give away another one. I'm good with that.
All right. So let's show.
That's how I roll, man.
Show an effect. What's another good one? Paranormal portraits or
psych ward security cameras. What that one was designed for is if you have a haunted attraction, you put that playing outside so it looks like that's what's going on inside.
Ah, okay.
And yeah, security cameras. That has some of my best friends in that. I built this 12 by 12 room in my garage, and all these friends of mine came in and all acted fruity with a GoPro running. Did a phenomenal job.
All right, let's check one of these out. Here is Psych Ward security cameras.
Psych Ward security cameras. That's a fun one. You put that, if you have a haunted house or a haunted attraction, and you put that on a video screen outside and say, this is what's going on inside, it freaks people out that there are all these loonies running around.
Who knows? You might see some of this stuff in my intro, guys.
Probably. Oh yeah. Oh, thanks. Can I have a piece of pizza? Just one piece.
So, guys, we're gonna give out one of these. So, I'm gonna start that up.
So this is my garage, actually. I had to go buy a toilet. It's the funny thing is, everything you're seeing is the exact same room, just shot from a different angle. Hey, while we're at it, hey, Pinball Fan 2018 just had surgery, and he is recovering. He's actually one of the, from what I understand, one of the original Pup developers, and has been working hard on the TNA, not tits and ass, but total nuclear annihilation. He's been working on that, and but he's recovering from surgery. So if anyone knows him directly and wants to send him a "How you doing?" and that would be nice.
Yeah, he's been in stream before.
Oh, he's here?
Not right now, but he's been here before. Hey guys, the raffle's live.
Observation shield for infected subject
If-
001.
If you want one of these videos,
This one's popular too.
well, I figured. And you could build your own contraption or buy a prop, put a TV in it like the one on the left, or
Attention, infected
do something with the video.
subject 001 is no longer
Be
secure.
creative.
Initiating security protocol. Releasing nerve gas.
I can think of some things to do.
Now check this out. Bam! Look at that. Dents in the door. How did you do that?
Warning. Infected subject
Spandex.
non-responsive to nerve gas.
You know the best thing about your kid working in a pizzeria is he brings you pizza. About to get incinerated. Oh, there he goes.
You guys have seen stuff like this at, you know, Spirit and stuff when they make those displays. They put the TV in it, the fish tank, and all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, the raffle is live. Exclamation raffle will enter you to win. Good luck. And that here in a minute.
Well, I did the Spirit Aquarium 2 years ago. At
Yeah,
Spirit,
I wanted to show aquarium.
Huh?
I'm going to show aquarium. I wanted to show that.
And then COVID happened, and then with what I was saying earlier about my medical condition, I was unable to do it last year. And so, and then they went and they found somebody else.
Here's 2019 Spirit store decoration that HiRez did.
If you look real carefully, you'll see my wife. I'll point her out. This is me walking around with a GoPro. And this is their... it's amazing that the entire Spirit display is cardboard. Everything. Okay? Now, if you look carefully, my wife is all the way on the left, but I think she already went by. So, they licensed a product I did in 2018, which is a shark that attacks the glass when you're standing there looking at it. And then they say, can you make a bunch of additional videos to go along with it? So the ones that are on the left were all brand new stuff that was made specifically for Spirit. But then they had these 48-inch TVs that it looks like you're looking at an aquarium and a big ass shark goes past. That's piranha. I tried to point out to them the piranha are freshwater and sharks are saltwater, but they didn't care. They're like, whatever, it looks cool.
Sorry, my earpiece stopped it.
So there's a sensor in the room that when you tripped it, the shark would bam, hit the glass. In fact, there's a video of a kid. If you go Spirit Aquarium on YouTube, there's a video of a kid that flew backwards that was terrified.
All right. So if you guys don't know, we're currently talking to HiRez00. He has made such tables as all these and many other medias and back glasses and wheels and full DMDs.
I'm eating pizza. I'm actually eating pizza.
And he's eating pizza for pizza's time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there's a raffle where you can win one of those video products we just showed. Hi, Pirate. Considering moving to Sunday. Okay. I tried. You didn't give me much time. I had to.
No, I got you.
Had to come up with an intro quick.
That's fine. Good, I would have just been happy with the Halloween table. Huh.
Yeah. Let's showcase your work.
The nice thing is like, and it's interesting that there are certain developers that are people that, you know, like was it Third Access? That, you know, he does the firepower table and the firepower AI, and also Grand Lizard. And whenever he puts out, like, you know, an update or puts out a updated version, and it's one that I play on a regular basis, I try and make the extra support stuff, like you said. I mean, you know, the wheel, the topper, whatever, because you know, it's almost like in my way, it's a thank you to how much work they put, like, because firepower, his firepower is, I've played the original, and it is dead on. I love playing firepower versus AI, although his easy setting is bullshit because I get my ass kicked every time.
Me too.
You know,
what'd you think of JP's Bonsai Run? Because I know you made a backlash for that. What'd you think of that?
I thought it was good. I thought it was clever how he was able to do the upper playfield.
Yeah.
The upper playfield, yeah. I actually was sitting on that backlash for. It was actually a mark. It's not even considered a backlash. On that, it's considered a marquee.
Yeah.
I was sitting on the high resolution version of that for years. That I just happened to come across. You know, got an opportunity to take that picture. But yeah, no. I mean, I saw someone tried to mimic the upper playfield to play on the back glass, as far as with the flippers and things.
You can't get the
no. In fact, Apophis and I, because I redid Catacomb about 6 months ago, and Apophis was just learning how to load a table into Blender to render it. And so it was a learning curve for him as well. And but something we could never get to work properly was the backglass game on that. It's never going to be smooth the way the backglass ever works. Everything, it's always going to be generally, which is why we put it on the, much like how JP did, we put it on the play field as an extra, you know, screen that pops up. But I mean, I ran algorithms to put the way that people have done it before is you've got the ball image in hundreds of places, and it turns each one on and off to try and get it to arc and look smooth. I did that with I think 600 balls in a grid. That's a lot of balls.
Yeah.
In a grid on the back glass, and it still looked choppy. You know, so it is what it is.
You do a lot of detailed work. It's very appreciated.
Well, I you know, it's like I'm trying to push the limits of what can be done. Unfortunately, and I only just saw recently the backglass server has been. There's a version 2 now that is under beta testing, because it's been 1.4 for ages.
Yeah.
You know, it's only with 1.73 that you can have primitive objects on a play field move at a different frame rate than what the frame rate of the screen is.
Yeah.
Because the upgrade to AC/DC, the cannon moves like 5 times faster than He used to have plenty of time with it to, you know, swing over to aim for the target. Now it's fast.
Yeah.
It's actually faster than the actual table because I've played the actual table.
You think it's faster?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty damn close.
It's fast. I don't remember it swinging that fast. You know, but yeah. But yeah, as things go along, I mean, it's amazing this hobby that we're doing for free what other companies charge for. And the fact that the guys, the developers of the VPX, you know, the actual software, where it's all free, is remarkable. There's no question that the companies that make, you know, Steam games and even, you know, Stern or whatever are looking at what we're doing.
Oh, they are.
It's kind of like porn with VHS.
Yeah.
Porn drove the VHS industry in the early 80s. No one thought about watching movies at home and things, you know, but it's like, you know, pinball is our porn, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure some of the homebrew scene looks at what we're doing on the originals or what you do with some of these EMs and, you know, imagine a world where they could do it.
Right.
It's cool because we're all mature gentlemen doing something we love. It's a wonderful hobby to be a part of. It's incredible.
All right. No, it is. And you're right. It's weird. You either get people who are into it or they're against it.
Yeah.
Every time I go to look at it,
Fervently.
when I go meet with someone where they're selling a pinball or something like that, where I want to potentially pick it up, like the guy that had a Meteor in mint condition. It's been in storage for like 15 years, Stern Meteor. And I went to see him. And I said, I've only played the
virtual
digital version. And he looked at me like I just called his mother an ape.
Yeah.
You know, like he's a digital pinball. You know? You know, I'm like, oh, I actually get a lot of joy out of it. You know?
Hey, I've improved my skill thanks to digital pinball. I have. I know it doesn't look like it tonight, but
I don't know. I watched you play Halloween when we put it out, and the ball kept draining. You had no idea that you had the shoot back feature.
Yeah. No. Nick,
I was sitting there screaming at the TV.
I know. Sometimes I do things for effect.
I know you're trying to play bad. You're trying to play bad for your audience.
You can't spill. Well, yeah. Then they'll never watch you. They're like, "Oh, he's better than me. I'm not. I'm not better than them." So.
Well, you know what? I will say this, and I know this is probably going to upset some people, but
go ahead.
But well, like, I love what the high end of our community does. I think the work is top notch. But there's a downside to it, okay? That when the really, 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 really cream of the crop is, you know, the stuff that gets praised and the stuff that gets, like, you know, 400 likes or whatever. And then somebody coming into this hobby that, you know, is trying to learn, the learning curve, if you're trying to go by what is being put out now, is tough.
Oh, leaps and
I'm not talking about myself at all. I consider myself amateur. You know, when people are using Blender, when people are, you know, doing whole 3D modeling and all this stuff, I am not against it. I think it looks fantastic. But to the average beginner coming into this, they don't even know where to start. You know,
you're right. That's why a lot of them start with the old orbital framework or JP Salas table. They all start there, and that's why.
That's the one thing about JP Salas is that he doesn't use any primitives. I mean, everything in his tables is right out of VPX.
Yep.
You know?
And he has a whole philosophy for the reason he does that versus making it in Blender. And I see the pros and cons of both sides. I really do. There's a place for both. So.
Oh, I love this stuff that's being done in Blender and stuff. I think the VPW guys are fucking phenomenal. It's just that if I was an average Joe coming into this, it's like, ooh, I'd like to build a cabinet. I'd be terrified looking at that, you know? You know? And even reskinning is becoming harder and harder. I mean, some of these tables are becoming so complex, you can't reskin them. Yeah. You know, but that's okay. I mean, there are older versions and things. I mean, that's how I learned. My thing was like I was going to be damned about, you know, I had a concept of what I wanted to do, and it's either I can do it or I just won't. And, you know, so I learned as far as I could go, and then I was very, very, very lucky to you know, develop a friendship and a communication with other people who could help, you know, and that's the best part of it is when it becomes a collaborative effort. I don't give a fuck about the credit. You don't have to put my name on fucking anything I've done, you know, but when it's like together. But when three people work together and everybody has their own skill set, I can't do what Apophis does. Yep. You know, he could probably do what I do. I don't know. You know, it's never come about. But you know, it's like everybody contributes, but everybody's okay with that. In my thing, it was always everyone wanted to be a fucking director. You know,
that happens in any group. It does. It does.
You know?
I think at our age range, it's less, but that's the same philosophy we run here with the VPN Hub. I mean, everybody does their own thing, but we all support each other. And if somebody's better at one thing than somebody else, they'll reach out and ask for help, and it's given.
Right.
And if you're a creator, and you know, I've met a few of you newer creators who have said things like, yeah, I joined and started creating and added Enfasi and Fleep to tables because I saw this guy on your channel and you were interviewing him and it made me want to go make a table. I mean, Tasty Wasps is like that, and he made Dirty Harry, just recently re-released it, and that thing's great.
Right.
There's a lot of people like that, and then we've got the guy that made Time Lord, Rusty. He's gotten a little help shop in BPW, and he's got great ideas and executed 2.0, which is different. Mr. J's got a help shop in there. I mean, it's people helping people can make some incredibly beautiful things, but it can lead to hurt butts too. So.
No, I get you. No, it's good because if you think long and hard about it, there's actually not that many hobbies like that.
No.
I mean, one of my side hobbies is model railroad stuff, HO gauge model railroad, and I went to like a couple clubs in this area just because they supposedly had, you know, big layouts and stuff, and they were like snotty to me. You know, they were like, oh, well, you know, and I just, you know, it was a turnoff, you know, and the other interesting thing is because our hobby is, you know, 99% digital, I've actually never spoken like on the phone or anything to like 4 or 5 of the major people that I have collaborated with. You know, I think you're the only one I've spoken to.
Well, I'm trying to be that mediator to get you guys together. I remember Board was here and there was like 3 people that said, I didn't know Board made beer. You know, I like knowing you guys. It's great to play the work you put out, but to know the person behind the passion, I don't know. I think that's invaluable, Nick. And
well, I like the fact that like one person has a play field and they live in Massachusetts, another person has the plastics and they live in Italy, you know, and when everybody kind of just culminates the stuff together, you know,
and
it's like a giant yard sale.
Imagine the day, Nick, when we finally, you know, code Scorbit or something like it into every table, and you're playing your table back home and I'm playing mine here, and it automatically goes to our TV to show the score live for each of it. I mean, that day is coming soon.
Yeah, well, I can take a picture of the score and then show you and say, hey, look, I beat your score.
But imagine a day where you're not even picking up your phone. The cabinet sends it somewhere.
I haven't loaded any of the Scorebit stuff yet. My cabinet is actually...
There's
my cabinet is not connected to the internet at all. I keep it offline so that it doesn't get... I actually, you know, it's funny. I actually, when I download something from VPU and stuff, I do it on my Mac and dump it to an SD card and take it to my cab. And my cab is never online. Even though I have a wireless hookup for it, I have it turned off. Because my fucking laptop, it overnight, it turned from Windows 10 to 11, and I didn't do a goddamn thing.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know?
I'm a
so I didn't
admin, so my cabinet.
I thought you worked for Pabst Brewing Company.
Oh God, no! What made you think that? God, no.
Because you're wearing a Pabst shirt.
I am.
In the Pabst Blue Ribbon thread.
Is this? Oh, that don't. You're not supposed to talk about that, man. That's a secret. You are just spilling all sorts of secrets tonight. I love it. It's fucking great.
Sorry, I saw this picture of you wearing a Pabst Blue Ribbon shirt. I thought maybe you worked there.
Spoiling it. Mr. J's spoiling it. No, it's fine. You're not spoiling it. I like you laughing. That's fucking awesome.
I'm sorry, dude.
No, it's fine. Pack your bags, man. We're going on a guilt trip. Fuck.
You look no. You look like you were like all like proud of your uniform in the picture.
I am.
And then you said you put a comment like "Go jerk your chicken in the backyard" or something. What was it?
Well, no. Somebody said I needed to drink, and I said, "Why don't you just go in your backyard and back off?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. There's not.
All right, so we're talking about the same post, right?
Yeah, we are. Yeah. But none of.
All right, I'm sorry. I saw
you
had the Pabst. To be honest with you, you didn't look like you were holding the phone. You looked like you were holding a keg.
And it had my name on it too, so I see why you would think that. No, I'm. What I do for a living is security cameras. Not security. I do analytics.
You've seen what I do for a living.
Yeah, I have.
What do you do?
I do analytics. So Retail Analytics is the company I work for. It's Retail Next is the name of it. But
okay,
we help retailers understand their customer, basically. So through cameras in the store, we can track a customer throughout the store, see what they buy, how they buy it, how they interact with the employee, much like Amazon can when you go on their website. The same type of thing, but and my voice is low origins because when I have a guest, my auto volume, that's why I keep stepping away. I keep clicking my volume back up and it keeps lowering back down. So it'll sound good for a second and then there it goes. So my client is sells lingerie and candles. I'll just say that. And
wait, your client sells what?
Lingerie and candles.
Oh, they said noodles.
No, candles. But yeah, brick and mortar retailers are trying to find a way to stay alive, and companies like me help them move into the digital age.
Gotcha. Well, I'm sorry if I gave away your secret, but you still didn't explain why you were wearing a Pabst Blue Ribbon shirt.
That is for a table being developed, which we've talked about, so that's not a secret, but me having a shirt was. That's a table under development by one of our viewers here. His name is Mr. J. Crane. He was talking to you in chat, letting you know how much he liked your work. He made Scooby-Doo 2022, which is a mod of J.P. Salas's Wrath of Olympus table. Really good.
Okay.
Really excellent sound design. He put a lot of work into it. And he
but somebody put out a Pabst Blue Ribbon table on VP Forum, I think, like, what, 2 years ago? Same guy did Primus.
Yeah, he's redoing that with a lot of new code and, you know, Apophis is helping him here and there, and, you know, everybody's chipping in. And
You shouldn't explain how you ended up in a Pabst Blue Ribbon shirt.
because I'm going to be premiering the table, and you're making me give away all my secrets now.
All right. Hey, you know what? Hey, I used to work at a gas station. I wore a Gibbs shirt.
No, Mr. J and I were going to theme the stream towards Pabst. So
Okay.
I will also let everybody know, since we're talking about it, that I'm attempting to make my first Pup Pack, and should all go well, it might include beer. I don't know. I can make the videos, but I don't know how to tie those to something that, yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. And yeah, you were involved in that Pabst table, right, HiRez, a couple years ago?
I did the back glass for it. Or I found the image, I cleaned it up, and then somebody else took it and actually did the art or the programming for it.
Well, and I might be a little ignorant here. I wish Mr. J was here, but this is called Pabst Blue Ribbon Can Crusher, and I think it's an evolution of that table from 2 years ago. I do believe he's redoing all the rules. He completely ignoring all the previous rules and rewriting all of that.
Right. When he was working on it, when it was a VP Forum,
different guy.
and I said, "Hey, I found this great back glass image. It was like 2,000 pixels, so it was decent to work with." He said, "Oh, I've got somebody redrawing the playfield," and because the playfield was very soft, you know, it looked like it came off a flyer. But that was 2 years ago. You know,
This is different. It's a different table. It'll play different.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me for giving away your secret. You didn't put that in your posts.
All of those help shops are authored tables that have been put in there. If you're seeing it, it's because you're a creator with trusted status, but technically you're not supposed to talk about any of those without the author's permission.
Well, nobody's told me that. I have never been told by an author, don't talk about something.
Let's quit talking about Fight Club. I'm sensitive because I'm a streamer and I'm trying to represent these guys, all of you, the way they want to be represented. So maybe I'm a little more cautious than others. But one of the stipulations of joining that place that we're talking about that we're not supposed to talk about is that we don't talk about it.
Oh, okay. No one gave me the rule sheet. I was just automatically included.
Yeah, tasty.
But then again, I don't. But then again, I don't make these kind of appearances usually.
It's not Fight Club, guys. It's just, you know, it's up to the creators what information they want to leak. And I always ask before I stream, hey, do you want that shown? And some authors, for instance, Uncle Paulie and Adrian Board, I don't even have to ask them. They're like, just quit asking me. Just do it. And others want you to wait, even though you might be seeing scores on Scorebit for that table, and you know it's out there. They don't want to show it yet. So it's different, right? HiRez keeps all of his stuff to himself. He won't show it to anybody. Just kidding. He showed it to you all.
Actually, what's funny is the very first table I did right there where you're playing right now, I put a photo of that on VPU or VP Forum, and someone said it looks like a movie poster with pinball parts on it. And I was devastated. I shit you not. I posted that picture of exactly what you have right there, and someone said, it just looks like a fucking movie poster with pinball parts on it. And I walked away from the table for like 4 months because I was like, I didn't like it.
Here's why I think you should see. There's no emotion in text. I think you should look at that comment differently, because right when you said it, I agreed with it for one reason. Let me tell you why. The cohesiveness of the main image. I can't tell that you cobbled many images together. It looks like one movie poster. It's not. That's not a slander from me. The main playfield, not the pop-up area. Even the pop-up areas blend into the table perfectly. Your color choices, the palette, the way you blended and feathered everything together and used clouds. And I mean, it does look like a movie poster, whereas most tables, Lord of the Rings, it's so fucking busy, it looks like shit. This doesn't.
Well, yeah, but
look
that has ramps and habit trails and targets and.
I'm just talking about art. If you stripped both tables of everything and I took your table and I looked at a modern stern, you're doing better work. Personal opinion. So I'm going to call it in 10 minutes because I have to go talk shit on other people. It's a Friday night tradition. So is there anything else you would like to get out to the audience, or any messages we definitely should end the raffle and see who won. Last chance to enter, exclamation raffle.
Yeah, finish the second raffle.
Oh, I am. We still got about 9 minutes. Closing entries, and the winner is 8-Bit. Wow. Congrats, 8-Bit. You're in Fight Club now. If you could, 8-Bit, send me a message on Discord, probably best. And you can go look through the website. Let me know what you might want if you want help picking it. And
you
I'll get your details to Nick. What's that?
That's funny.
Well, I don't know.
That's funny.
Maybe he wants help. Well, I don't know.
Well, that's fine. You can always email me through the website.
Maybe help.
Just don't ask me for money.
Yeah, don't ask for money. Yeah.
And don't ask for a loan. Don't ask for money.
And you don't have to include me. I'm going to ask both of you if it was completed. So feel free to reach out to him directly. You can reach out to me and I'll send him your info. Whatever's easiest for you.
Whatever works.
Congratulations, 8-Bit.
All right, Marty, I'm going to let you off the hook. You've had enough of my nuisance for this evening.
I've loved having you. Thank you, Nick.
It was fun.
Good.
It was fun.
Good.
You know, it's funny. I'm looking at this computer to see you, but the actual camera's over there. I probably should have moved the camera over here. Good thing I got multiple computers in the room.
Yeah, we all learn. We all learn the hard way.
All right. So this is not a YouTube stream people can watch tomorrow, is it?
I'm allowed 24 hours after the beginning of the broadcast to publish it to YouTube. So at 8 p.m. our time tomorrow,
right?
If I get it edited in time, which I should be able to.
What's there to edit? We didn't do anything.
I cut out 7 minutes at the beginning.
I didn't know if because you didn't show anything from the Playboy table, there should be just
small edits, putting the intro ahead of it, and just cleaning up small little clips stuff. Putting a trailer on the end, and I'll probably throw a soundtrack under the whole thing. Probably the fog table combined with probably your music from the tables, because I kept that really low, and it's always nice when you're watching on YouTube to have some underlying music, I've discovered.
Okay.
So that's what the edit means.
There you go. All right, sir. Well, it was fun. Thanks for taking me on short notice. Yeah. Hopefully anybody who wants the special super deluxe video version of the table will let me know, because in 1 month, it's gone.
Yep.
All right. All right. Take care, Marty. I will talk to you soon, okay?
Thanks, brother. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Night.
Bye.